He showed up at my doorstep again, guitar on his back, apology on his lips, and the past between us like a wound that never healed. Funny how the man who once shattered my world now stood trembling, asking to hold the child he never knew existed. It had been 5 years since Ethan left. 5 long, miserable years since the boy with the soft laugh and rough hands vanished from my life, chasing fame and music across cities while I stayed behind in a small town in Oregon. Raising a secret, our son, Noah. I still remember the night he walked away. Rain poured like hell was weeping, and all he said before leaving was, "I can't be who you need me to be." Then he was gone. No goodbye kiss. No second glance, just the sound of his old truck fading into the night. I hated him. I loved him. And I learned to survive without him. Until last week when he came back. The news hit before he even reached me. Ethan Reed, the rising country star, returns to his hometown for a benefit concert. His face was everywhere: billboards, TV, the radio. That same crooked smile that once made me melt now felt like a knife. And then, 2 days later, he knocked on my door. "Daniel," he whispered, voice trembling. I froze, my heart betraying me with every beat. Noah's laughter echoed from the living room, a sound that made Ethan's eyes widen, his breath catch. I watched realization strike him like lightning. The child. My son. Our son. Who is he? Ethan stammered. I didn't answer. Instead, Noah peeked from behind my leg. His curly brown hair and deep hazel eyes the same as Ethan's, giving away everything I had tried to hide. Ethan fell to his knees. "Oh my God. Daniel, is he?" "Yes." I cut him off, my voice cold, shaking. "He's yours." Silence. The kind that burns more than screams. For a moment, I thought Ethan would walk away again. But he didn't. He looked up at me, tears streaking his face. "I missed 5 years of his life," he said brokenly. "Let me make it right." I wanted to laugh or scream. Maybe both. Because how do you make right a half-decade of loneliness? Of nights rocking a crying baby while praying the man you loved would come back? How do you forgive the person who left you holding all the shattered pieces alone? Still, when Noah ran into Ethan's arms without fear, something inside me cracked. The boy had his father's heart, even without knowing him. That night, after Ethan left, I sat by the window watching the rain again. It was just like that night 5 years ago, except this time, I wasn't crying alone. Noah was asleep in his room, and I could hear faint music drifting from the park, Ethan playing his guitar again. The same melody he used to write for me. It was haunting, beautiful, and cruel. The next morning, I saw him standing outside the coffee shop across the street. He waved, hesitant as if afraid I'd vanish if he blinked. And maybe a part of me wanted to. I didn't go to him. Not yet. But when I saw the flyer posted on the wall, Ethan Reed. One night, only a song for home, something stirred inside me. Home. That word used to mean him. That evening, as the sun dipped low behind the mountains, the whole town gathered at the park for Ethan's concert. I stood near the back, arms crossed, trying to act indifferent. Noah sat on my shoulders, clapping with the crowd. Then Ethan stepped up to the microphone. He looked different, older, quieter. The fame hadn't dulled him. It had weathered him. When he spoke, his voice trembled slightly. "This song," he said, glancing through the crowd until his gaze found mine, "is for someone I hurt, someone I loved and lost, and the little piece of heaven we made together." The audience murmured. My heart stopped. He began to play, and every note ripped through me. It was our song, the one he used to sing to me on the roof of my old apartment, when the world felt too big and our love too fragile to survive. But it did survive somehow, because in that moment, standing beneath the stars, listening to the man who broke my heart sing like he was begging for forgiveness, I realized something terrifying. I still loved him. And when Noah tugged on my sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, that man sounds like me," I couldn't stop the tears anymore. I didn't notice Ethan step off the stage mid-song until I saw him walking toward us, guitar still in hand, eyes locked on mine. The crowd fell silent as he stopped just a few feet away. "I'm sorry," he said, voice raw, broken, real. "For everything. For leaving. For missing him. For missing you. The wind caught his hair. The light wrapped around him like some cruel spotlight from the universe. I wanted to hate him, God. I wanted to. But all I could see was the man I fell in love with years ago, standing there, stripped of pride, begging for another chance. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel angry. I just felt tired. Tired of pretending I didn't still want him. Ethan, I whispered, voice shaking. You can't just sing a song and expect everything to be okay. He nodded slowly, eyes glistening. I know, but let me try. Not as a star. Not as your mistake, as the man who still loves you. Noah reached for his hand. Ethan looked down, stunned, then knelt, letting our son wrap his tiny arms around him. The crowd clapped softly. Somewhere in the distance, a train wailed. And for the first time in years, I felt the weight of the past begin to lift. The night of the concert ended quietly. People left the park one by one, the sound of chatter fading into the soft hum of crickets. Ethan stood there, holding Noah's hand, looking at me like a man afraid to breathe, afraid that one wrong move would send everything crumbling again. I wanted to speak, but the words wouldn't come. My chest felt tight. Too many memories, too much pain, too much love I'd buried alive. Can we talk? He asked softly. I hesitated. Tomorrow. I need time. He nodded, eyes glistening in the dim light. I'll be here. That night, sleep didn't come easily. I kept replaying the image of Noah clutching Ethan's hand, the way he smiled up at him, the way Ethan looked at him like he was seeing the world for the first time. And when I finally drifted off, I dreamed of us again, of a world where Ethan never left. But morning came and reality returned with it. When I stepped outside to take Noah to school, Ethan was already there, sitting on the porch steps with 2 cups of coffee and that same nervous smile that used to make my heart skip. Thought you might need this, he said, handing me the cup. Still remember how I like it? I asked. He smiled sadly. Extra cream, no sugar. Some things you don't forget. Noah ran into the yard chasing his toy plane, laughing. Ethan watched him with a kind of quiet awe. I missed so much, he whispered. His first steps. His first words. I swallowed hard. You missed everything, Ethan. He turned to me, his voice trembling. And I'll spend the rest of my life making it right if you let me. I didn't answer. Not then. Because forgiveness doesn't come in a single moment. It grows slowly, painfully, like light after a storm. Over the next few weeks, Ethan didn't push. He showed up every morning before work to take Noah to school. He learned how to pack lunches, how to braid shoelaces, how to sing silly songs in the car. And every night, he'd sit on the porch playing his guitar softly, never saying a word, just waiting. I hated that it worked, because with every laugh, every melody drifting through my window, the walls I'd built began to crumble. One evening, after Noah had gone to bed, I stepped outside. Ethan was there again, strumming under the stars. He looked up when he heard me. Remember this one? He asked, playing a few notes. My breath caught. It was our song again, the one he'd written for me when we were just 2 broke boys dreaming of forever. I sat beside him, closer than I meant to. You still remember all the chords? He smiled. I never forgot the song. I just lost the reason to play it. Until now. Until you opened that door, he said quietly. The night grew colder. The silence between us was warm, though full of everything we weren't ready to say out loud. Then, out of nowhere, he whispered, Daniel, I'm not asking you to take me back. I just want you to know I never stopped loving you. My heart twisted. You stopped showing it. He nodded. I was scared. Back then, I thought love would destroy my dream. I didn't realize it was the dream. For the first time in years, I saw him not as the man who left but the man who came back. And that made it harder somehow. Days turned into weeks. The gossip in town eventually died down. People saw Ethan at the diner with Noah, or walking him to school, and their whispers softened into smiles. Even my mother, who'd sworn she'd never forgive him, invited him for dinner one night. Life was changing quietly, naturally. But one thing still scared me, the idea of trusting him again. Every time his fingers brushed mine, every time his eyes met mine across the dinner table, my heart screamed yes, but my mind whispered be careful. Then one Friday evening, Ethan came to pick up Noah for a weekend trip. Just the park, he said, grinning. Ice cream, kites, the usual. But when they came back hours later, something in Ethan's face told me this day had been different. Noah ran inside to show me a new kite, shouting, "Daddy taught me to fly it." And Ethan just stood there, holding something behind his back. When Noah went to his room, he revealed a small velvet box. My heart stopped. Ethan. He opened it, but inside wasn't a ring. It was a tiny silver pendant shaped like a guitar pick, engraved with 3 names: Ethan, Daniel, Noah. "It's not a proposal," he said softly. "It's a promise that this time, I'm staying." I didn't know whether to cry or laugh. Maybe both, because for once I believed him. He reached for my hand gently, carefully, as though afraid I'd disappear again. And when our fingers intertwined, everything finally made sense. All the pain, all the years apart, all the waiting, it had all led here to this moment. We stood there in the doorway, the sunset spilling gold across the floor, the faint sound of Noah's laughter echoing through the house. "I don't want perfect," I said quietly. "I just want real." Ethan smiled through tears. "Then real is all I'll ever give you." He leaned in, and when our lips met, it wasn't like the first time, fiery and reckless. It was slow, trembling, full of everything we'd lost and everything we'd found again. And for the first time since the night he left, I felt whole. Months later, our small house overflowed with music and laughter. Ethan started teaching at the local music school. I opened my art studio again. Noah grew happier by the day, his drawings of me and my 2 dads taped all over the fridge. We weren't the same people we used to be. We were something better, something built from forgiveness, not fantasy. Sometimes, late at night, I still watch Ethan asleep beside me, his arm draped across my chest. The man who once ran from love now clings to it like it's air. And I think maybe that's what real love is. Not the fairy tale. Not the grand gestures. Just 2 broken souls who choose each other again. Every single day. Ethan stirred, half asleep, murmuring, "Still think you can live without me?" I laughed softly, brushing his hair back. I never really did. Outside, the wind carried the faint sound of a guitar from the porch, a lullaby that belonged only to us. Our son's quiet breathing filled the room. The stars blinked above the old Oregon sky. And as Ethan's hand tightened around mine, I whispered the truth I'd kept locked inside for 5 long years. Welcome home, because love, real love, always finds its way back. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.